And now you think people are seeing it, but you said so much more is going to have to happen too. And I fear that you might be right, because I think people are waking up very slowly. It's like when someone's in a really deep sleep and you rouse them a bit and then they go back to sleep. What's the future that you're hoping for your children?
I'm terrified for my children. I have been when people talk about, and I used to have this conversation with my ex-wife, I know what the future is. I know what's coming. I know it. So, and I understand that Britain's broken. I understand that the future is going to be that devastating for us as a nation and for the next generation. This is what I always say, is like, do you want me to just bury my head and pretend it's not happening, and in 20 years' time, my son's going to have to pick up the fight? If someone's going to fight, I'll fight. I don't want him to fight. I'll fight. Because what's happening every bit, we have to stop this. Britain's at a crossroads now. We are at a point of no turning back. And we either beat it now or we lose everything.
And we're at that crossroads, or have we gone down?
There now.
We haven't gone down one of the roads wrong?
We're there now. And do you know what? I've been smiling a lot for the last 12 months. Because since we formed this, seeing the scenes on September 13th, the country's ready.
Okay, so crossroads, one way lies...
destruction of Britain, our identity, our culture. If they continue to control through fear the public from speaking their mind, we're finished.
And what's the other way?
The other way is an uprising, a patriotic cultural revolution in Britain, which we're already seeing.
Peaceful?
Peaceful. It has to be peaceful. If we want to win, which is the purpose, we need to win the hearts and minds of the public. We need to win the hearts and minds of the police. We need to win the hearts and minds of politicians. Politicians who have negative opinions of us need to understand what we're fighting for. And many of them have been scared. And when you put 1 million people on the street like we did last week, when you do that, you will give courage to those politicians. More people will find courage. More people will speak up. They'll realise that it's acceptable to feel proud. It's acceptable to speak up. And the whole thing's shifting. Even if you look at reform and look at where they've gone from no mass deportations to mass deportations. They're changing like the wind, yeah? And they're changing to try and keep up with the mood of the country, because the country's swinging. And that swing, I always said for the last 15 years, when it happens, and none of us know what it's going to be, that defining moment in Northern Ireland's history was Bloody Sunday, yeah? No one knew that was coming. No one knew that would change the direction of that battle and that conflict. Who knows what's going to be the moment that's going to change the direction, and not just Britain, okay, because this is the whole of Europe. It's every Western nation. We are stuck, scared, intimidated through tyranny, yeah, where no one's speaking. Everyone's looking around their towns, like looking at their towns thinking, what the fucking hell is happening? Who are these people? Who are these migrants coming in? Rape, murder, terrorism. Everyone knows it's wrong. Everyone knows it's wrong. But everyone's been too conditioned that you can't say it's wrong. And not just because you can't be proud of Britain. You can't say, hold on, this isn't Somalia. This isn't Pakistan. It's Great Britain. Yeah, you can go back to Somalia. You can go back to Pakistan. We're going to have nowhere to go. We've got nowhere to go. If we lose this, where will we go? When we become a minority, are there going to be minority rights for us? And anyone who's got any sort of brain just looks at history, studies Islam, studies conquest, studies where Islam's come into a country as a minority. Look at Lebanon, look at Iran, look at any of these nations. What happens then to the minorities? What's it like for minorities in Afghanistan or Pakistan?
Well, you know, it's interesting because I mentioned Dr. Anat Berko before, who I interviewed, and she said something very smart to me, which I believe a Supreme Court justice in Israel may have said. I'm trying to remember who said it. The majority need protecting from the minority in a democracy. And a lot of people don't think about that. In fact, it seems that we've gone the other way around, because in our democracy, we've made it very important that minorities should enjoy the freedoms to do what they need to do, to an extent that it became very difficult to criticize a minority for things that were unacceptable, incompatible. Is that really the problem we're facing?
Well, when you actually think about it and say it out loud, we had a generation of our daughters raped with our full knowledge of our government, police, social services, every institution that was there to protect them, let it happen because they were scared.
Is it still happening?
Yeah, it's still happening every town city.
London?
Everywhere, yeah. To pretend there's not been a grooming scandal in London. It's like, you know when you go through the figures, the 85 figures, the 85 cities, Luton's not one of them. When we talk about the grooming scandal, it's like, do you know how many children I know? Do you know how many girls I went to school with? I had a cousin. Do you know how many people I know that were victims of these gangs? I know the gangs. I know who the gangs are.
That's why you became interested in all this, right?
Yeah, because my cousin was a victim of the rape gang. I named the rape gangs. I named their gang in Luton. I know them all. I personally know them. Yeah, I grew up with them. I battled with them for years.
So when we go down, if let's say we win, that's what you're saying. You win, we turn the tide, right?
turn the tide, give everyone, which we've done successfully at United Kingdom, and did you see the 2 videos of the Muslim girls who went to United Kingdom? They had a lovely time, yeah? Do you know what? And I'm not, and sometimes I speak very strongly, yeah, in my opposition of Islam. I try to, for anyone that can't do this, it's like Muslims are people. If you hate on Muslims, that's bad, yeah? And some great Muslims, some brilliant Muslims, yeah? But if you hate on Muslims, it's bad. But we have to examine Islam, because most Muslims don't follow Islam. Most Muslims are just cultural Muslims, born a Muslim. If I go down to the betting shop down there now, it's going to be full of Muslims. It's going to be full of Muslims. If I go to the pubs, they're full of Muslims. So most Muslims aren't following Islam, but they still, because of the ideology, they still defend it, even when they don't know what they're defending. They're still ready to go to war for it. It's such a powerful idea. It's such a powerful idea. And do you know what it does, which is why so many are converting to it, which is why it needs to be stemmed, is it gives the sense of identity. It's strong. It's not weak.
So you want to give an alternative. That's what I'm understanding here. An alternative sense of identity.
British identity, United Kingdom.
But what is that? So here's in 5 or 10 years' time.
Our next event will be bigger than the last one. It will be.
I'm not thinking about the next event. I want to talk about way past there.
Yep.
When you have done the job you need to do, or your movement has done the job it needs to do, what does Britain look like? What's
I just want a Britain where British people are put first. And that's it. Just British people are put first.
Who are those British people?
It's not white people, it's British people.
Right. Does it include me?
Of course it includes you, yeah.
Does it include Muslim?
Of course it includes Muslims. British Muslims, yeah? British Muslims. Not Muslims who have just landed off from Afghanistan, yeah? Not the 200,000 who we just brought in, who simply shouldn't be here. Yeah? We have to have a limit. We have to have some addressing of some form of remigration, because there's 1 million people illegally in this country, yeah, who just shouldn't be here. And unless you address it, the demographical change of this country, again, we should be encouraging families through tax breaks to have children, rather than importing all these people. Like Germany said, we imported 1 million Syrians because of the low birth rate of Germans. Why don't you just cut the taxes? You have 2 kids, 3 kids, less tax, less tax, less tax. Encourage German families, encourage British families. Make it easier to be a family. Hungary do it. Hungary rewards you for marriage. Hungary rewards you for children. They reward the family unit. Instead of rewarding the family unit in Britain and in the West, we've been attacking it and destroying it. And when you attack it and destroy it, what does it lead children to turn to? Poverty, gangs, crime, criminality. All of these problems come from the loss, I'd say, in the core foundations of Great Britain, which were Christian. Family, they've broke everything. They've intentionally broke everything as well.
Who's they?
Who's they? I'd say the 1%.
And who's the 1%?
Who's corporations? Like now, look at BlackRock. So Keir Starmer floods the country. He's had about 10 meetings with BlackRock. He floods the country. BlackRock are about to invest £1.4 billion in the private housing market in the UK. So BlackRock are going to come in. All these migrants that are in hotels where Serco, BlackRock, owns part of Serco, where they're all profiting off these migrants. So it's a business. It's a massive business. And it bullshits the fake money bubble, the money bubble as well. It's all bullshit. So as they're flooding the country, Serco are about to buy £1.4 billion worth of houses, and they're going to make them in HMOs.
Can I ask you, because this stuff sounds a bit nuts to me.
Well, it's all, they don't want people, you live in a beautiful home here. They want you living in a bedroom. They want you living in a bedroom.
But so that's what I'm trying to say here is this is where you start losing me. And I'm not saying maybe you're right, maybe you're not.
Yeah.
This sounds to me a bit nuts, right? And so something that is a massive conspiracy against us would sound nuts, I grant you. But do you worry you're a bit all over the place with some of this?
No. Well, I am all up. I go off on different tangents, but it's a fact now BlackRock are about to spend £1.4 billion in the British housing market.
How do you know this, by the way?
I've looked it all up. I go down, I just sit diving. Just diving. Some rabbit holes you wish you don't go.
Yeah, but you know, the internet can take you down some very dark places that aren't true.
Yeah, but it is true. It's BlackRock's investment in the British housing market. Now, they're taking the migrants out of hotels. Labour, we're going to get them all out of hotels. Where are they putting them?
One in, one out, right?
Well, yeah, getting rid of one for France, yeah? But where are they putting them? They're going to put them in HMOs next door to you. They're going to buy the house like this. They're going to turn this into what? 4 or 5 bedrooms? And this is what they're doing. And then you're going to have 4 or 5 men living next door to you from Afghanistan.
So remigration then. So some of that will be...
I just think that 40,000 terrorists on a watch list.
Yeah.
12,000 foreign prisoners in prison. 1 million illegals here. Donald Trump stemmed it by 95% in a week.
We can't do that here, though. Because we can't do executive orders, can we? We can't have someone come in.
But this is why the problem has to get that bad, yeah? Because for a mandate, for reform to have a mandate, yeah, an actual mandate to come in and solve these problems, the British public have to be ready for the laws to be introduced that are going to solve these problems. And for the British public to be ready, they've gone a long way in the last 18 months. Yeah, they've got now mass deportations is common practice, and people are saying it. Yeah, but there's going to be a lot more murder, a lot more rape. But then what the government want to do at the same time as that is bring in digital ID. 20% of this country voted for the Labour government, and they're about to enforce 100% of the people to have a digital ID.
Well, that's just how governments work, isn't it? I mean, what's wrong with digital IDs?
What's wrong with it? What's wrong with it? I can't open a bank account now. We're before they...